I was fresh out of high school, had just got married, had a baby, but I was still living with my parents. And I needed a job that would have insurance. And so I started looking around, and I saw where St. Patrick Hospital was hiring in housekeeping. I didn't have any other skills at that time, so I took the position. But I knew that God had another plan for me. At times I would see a friend of mine that would wear scrubs. I didn't wear scrubs, but I was always interested in why he had a different uniform than I had on. And one day I stopped him and we started talking, and he told me about he was about surgical technician. At the time, St. Patrick actually held a school for surgical technologists. And I wanted to actually start knowing a little bit about it. So I asked my boss, hey, could I start working the evening shift in surgery? That would give me at least a view of what was going on back there, because it was always that restricted area. And I always wanted to know what was in that restricted area, So finally I got in that area, and I became the housekeeper at night. As a housekeeper, I was still proud of what I've done, what I was doing at that time. But it seemed like when the surgery team would walk out, they get respect. I mean, everybody just looked at them, and it was like they was put up on a pedestal. And then they walked as a team, they walked as a unit, and they walked proud. And I liked that, And so when I became a surgical technologist at the time, and I started putting on these green scrubs and these hats and stuff like that, I walked proud, because I had to realize that it takes a lot out of your life when you have to study, especially when you're trying to work and study. I can remember at times where I would work to 11 o'clock at night, and I wouldn't sleep. I would stay up all night studying to the next morning, and I had to go back, to school. So I would stay up all night, and I would just study, and then get up that morning and go to school and go to class, and then at 3 o'clock I'd have to go to work. And that was my life. It was a struggle, but I can remember my dad would come in, because I was still with my parents, being married and everything. I remember my dad would come in, and he would like, "Boy, you still up? It's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, "Well, Dad, I got a test in the morning, And that went on for like a year and a half. It was times where I felt like I couldn't do it, but like I said again, it was just that drive. It was something driving me. Went from housekeeping to a surgical technologist, The first person I remember helping, that I come away with a real sense of achievement, was a lady that was she was shot in the head, and we brought her into the operating room, which half her face was blown off. And the amazing thing is, she drove herself to the emergency room, and when we got her to the operating room, she was still talking. I mean, it was amazing to see it, because it was like I was new, I was kind of fresh in this call thing and didn't know what to expect a lot of times. This was probably my first time seeing this kind of trauma. And she lived, she came back, and she looked good. And that's what that's miracles. That's when you see miracles. But I think that was the first time that I actually said to myself, wow, this is what I want to do. A lot of people coming out of high school don't know about surgical technologists, don't know about telemetry techs. They don't know about a lot of things. I was a senior in high school, 17 years old, still didn't know what he wanted to do. But I would tell people today that, find what makes you happy as a career. It can be in culinary. If cooking is your thing, don't just go to learn to cook, go to be the best at being the cook, and that's what I felt like, as a surgical technologist. Again, I didn't just go to school to become a surgical technologist. I went to school to become the best surgical technologist. And that's been all my life. I always want to be the best. So, and I knew at being the best, it was gonna take a lot of hard work. So I would say, never, ever, ever give up. You never give up. It may take 1 year, 2 years, maybe 3 or 4 years, but at the end of the day, you have achieved your goal. And I'm so happy to be I'm proud to be a part of an institution that believes the way I believe. You know, I feel like I'm a part of the best institution that I need to be. You know, they're Christians, and I'm a Christian, and I'm willing to go the extra mile. You know, it's unbelievable. But I'm very happy. I'm very proud in my position right now.